Good. So tell us about you. So I know that, some of us, we plan, right? Well, not me, but some people plan their whole career in project management. I personally think it's, these days more than years ago because there's like graduate degrees in project management, undergrad in project management. And that did not exist when I was even in college. It was kind of like you stumble into it. So I kind of stumbled into it. But how did you get started in project management, in your career in project management?
So, project management is one of those fields where if you're not familiar with it, you may not even know that it exists, or you may not really know what a project manager does or what that role is.
Mhm.
So, I had a very similar experience of stumbling into project management. And I do feel like it's a little bit different now. There's a lot of college programs or advanced courses that can be taken in project management, but that wasn't the case for me.
Yeah.
I began my career as a classroom teacher. I taught fifth grade and it was absolutely wonderful. I loved it. And there was one day, I remember it so clearly. I was standing in my classroom holding a clipboard, and my classroom had windows out to the hallway. And I saw a third party vendor
Mhm.
working there in the hallway. And they were doing a fantastic job. But I remember having this thought of, I could do things more efficiently. And
Mhm.
it just sparked this idea. And I thought, I need to do some research. And so I put together this research. I pulled data from what other states were doing at the time and put together this information. I scheduled a meeting with my boss. I didn't tell him what I wanted to bring to the table. I just said, hey, let's chat.
Uh-huh.
And showed up to this meeting, and I had printed out all of these slides and I set them on the table and I said, here's all of this data, here's all of this information. There's a role within our organization that we don't have, and I think we should have it, and I think you should hire me to do it. And to my surprise, they said, okay, let's let's make it happen. um, so that was how I initially transitioned out of the classroom. And I didn't know at the time, but that role evolved into a lot of project management practices.
Mhm.
And I was speaking with a mentor of mine, and they said, you should really explore project management. Project management, I don't even know what that is. What is project management? And I was on the phone with them one day, and I locked myself in a closet at work, and I'm crouched on the floor in the closet. I have a notebook. I'm writing down all of these acronyms. I'm writing down all of these things that they're telling me,
Mhm.
Scrum Master, and what is
Uh-huh.
this, and all of these things, PMP, like, just I have no idea
Yeah.
of what anything that they're talking about is, but they said you should do some research,
Yeah.
and because this sounds like a lot of what you're doing and it sounds like a really good fit for you.
Yeah.
And I said, well, okay. And
Mhm.
I went home and I started researching some information. I got online and found some classes and took a class, and that was my introduction into the field of project management. And within just a few weeks of that phone call, I was sitting for my PMP exam. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so that was my introduction to the world of project management.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because it's funny. A lot of times, like a theme that goes through a lot of people that I talk to is someone saw that in them, right? It was just like the exposure to it. Because a lot of times, if you get the exposure to project management, either it's your thing or it's not. And it's a definite line that it is or it's not. And it doesn't matter if you
Absolutely.
have that title, what you're doing either. I feel like we're born this way. Like it's a personality thing of we naturally go to, well, people naturally even look to us like, okay, well, what do we do? Or what do we plan? And how can you get us organized? And well, how do we do this? And it's like, why are you looking at me? But then we have a plan, right? So it's
Absolutely.
funny. Yeah, it's funny that you have, it was just that instinct and they saw that in you, like, Marie, you should really look into this. And then when you saw it, did it feel like it clicked like immediately, like, oh yeah, this is like a good fit for me?
Oh, absolutely. I remember I was sitting in one of my courses in one of my project management classes, and I was like, this is the language of
Yeah.
my people. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt like I was I was like, this
Right.
is this is all of those thoughts that I've
Yeah.
had going on in my head.
Mhm.
I was always the one planning on family vacations, all of the activities and all of this, and finding these places that we need to go to and finding them all on the map
Yeah. Yeah.
and mapping everything out. And then I was sitting in this class and I had this moment where I thought,
Yep.
it's this
Yep.
is the language of my people.
Yeah.
I have found where I belong.
It's so funny because anyone who's not maybe in project management, this conversation can sound so weird to them. But for me, and you, I mean, I've had this conversation so many times with other women in project management. It makes all the sense in the world. It's like that
Yes.
moment where the skies just open up, like
Yes.
this all makes sense. Like it all falls in line of this is me. It's just naturally what I do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just allowing me to do this and to
Yes.
pay me for it. Okay. And I get to work on like funny, fun projects and crazy projects. So it's funny. It's funny. So, so that's, I'm always interested in how people got started, and this is like, we're all marching towards this way and we find project management, but it's like, well, how did you get there?
Yes.
So it's always these interesting stories. So that's really amazing.